You're the first. Not the first human, but the first one who's different. The first one who thinks beyond the next meal. And that difference is about to make your life exponentially harder. Your tribe doesn't have a name because names don't exist yet. You're just a group of about 20 people wandering East Africa trying not to die. And honestly, most days, you're failing at that. Your father got trampled by a mammoth last winter. Your sister died from an infected cut. Your infant brother starved when your mother's milk dried up. Death isn't a tragedy here, it's Tuesday. You're maybe 16, 17 years old. Hard to say because nobody's counting. Your body is covered in scars, insect bites, and a layer of dirt that's basically permanent. You've never bathed. The concept doesn't exist. You eat when you find food, which isn't often. Mostly roots, berries, the occasional lizard you're fast enough to grab. If the hunters take down something big, you get scraps. If not, you go hungry. Your stomach hasn't felt full in so long you've forgotten what that feels like. But something's happening in your head that isn't happening to the others. You're noticing patterns, like how certain plants grow near water, how animal tracks look different when they're fresh versus old. The others see these things, sure, but they don't connect them. You do. And one morning, you have a thought that changes everything. What if we didn't have to chase food? What if we made food come to us? The idea hits you while you're watching the others try to corner a rabbit. They're yelling, throwing rocks, accomplishing nothing. You're thinking about how rabbits always run to the same thick bushes. They're predictable, and predictability can be used. You spend the next 3 days doing something your tribe has never seen before. You're weaving sticks together, just sitting there, testing different patterns, seeing what holds. The others think you've lost it. One of them throws dirt at you. Another makes gestures suggesting you're broken in the head. Your mother looks worried, but you keep going because the image in your mind won't leave. A barrier. Something that blocks the rabbit's escape route. You're inventing the trap, except you don't know that's what it's called because language barely exists. You grunt, you point, you mime. That's communication. Finally, you finish. It's crude, barely functional, but it's something new, something that's never existed before. You set it up near those bushes and wait. The next morning, there's a rabbit thrashing in your construction. The tribe stares. They don't understand what just happened. You don't either, not really. But you just created surplus. For the first time in human history, someone has food they didn't immediately eat. And that changes the math of survival. Within weeks, you're building more traps. Different designs. Some work, some don't. You're iterating through trial and error, developing a process that won't have a name for another 100,000 years. The tribe starts copying you. Badly at first, then better. Food becomes less scarce. Not abundant, but less desperately rare. And with that tiny buffer, something unprecedented happens. People start having time to sit, time to think, time to do things that aren't directly related to not dying today. You're sitting by a fire one night, and you pick up a sharp rock. You start scratching lines into a flat stone. No reason. Just because you can, the lines become shapes. The shapes start looking like the animals you hunt. You've just invented art, and you don't even know why you're doing it. Another tribe member sees your drawing and makes a sound. Not a grunt, but something more specific. A sound that means that animal. You repeat it. He repeats it back. You've stumbled into language development. Within a generation, your tribe has 30 words. Within 3 generations, they have hundreds. All because you had enough food to stop running for one evening. But here's what nobody tells you about being first. You don't get to see what you started. You die at 32 from a tooth infection. Just another body the tribe leaves behind as they migrate. You never know that your trap design spreads to other tribes, that it evolves into nets, into corrals, into agriculture, that the pattern recognition wiring in your brain becomes the template that builds cities, mathematics, and eventually rockets. You were just trying to catch a rabbit. You ended up catching the future. Your tribe doesn't remember your name because names still barely exist. There's no grave marker, and no legacy, no historical record. But every human alive today carries the echo of what you did. That moment when you sat down and thought, what if we did this differently? That's the moment everything changed. You were the first person to look at the world and see not just what is, but what could be. The first optimizer, the first engineer, the first human who bent reality instead of just surviving it. And you did it all for a rabbit you were tired of chasing. Everything else was just consequence.